Bien, normal. Nada nuevo.
Hello, Colleen here for Starlinerevents, and I got to get the cable out of the way of the camera. And I'm here with LauraThomas tonight, and
Hi.
anyway, I'm going to chat with her for a few minutes, and I'm using the movie light, so it's kind of crazy. And we're here at Rockwood Music Hall, and you just got done with your little set. So what do you think? Is it nice to be back in New York?
It's so great. I love it here. I really miss being here full time, I have to tell you. And this is kind of like being at the eye doctors when they shine that little light in your eye and you have to not blink. I don't move it away. It's totally fun. It's actually a good test for me.
You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go, and then I can watch.
No, it's actually, I love it. It's so funny.
Okay.
It's good for me.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
So are you going to be moving back here after you get married, or what's the story?
That's a good question. My fiance, who's about to finish his PhD, knows that he is to apply to any university jobs within the New York tri-state area. So he's doing that. He's going to be a professor, and I'm going to live where he lives. But the good news is he also knows that wherever we live, I'm probably going to have a little pied-à-terre in New York because I need to come here at least every couple months, play a show, see my people. So I have no intention of being far away from New York for very long.
Fabulous. And are you in Chicago or in California right now?
Right now, we're in California until the end of the summer, and then we're going to be, which I love, it's in the mountains, it's so beautiful. After that, we're going back to Chicago in September, but we may try and sublet a place here next year as well, so we can kind of come back and forth between here and Chicago.
And I've been wanting to ask you, is there a big difference in the music scene between here and Chicago, or what have you noticed?
Yeah, there is no comparison. In my view, there's no comparison between the New York music scene, and anywhere else in the world. I mean, I think it might be, the LA music scene is probably good. I don't actually know much about it. Probably in Europe you can find some good music scenes, but for singer-songwriter music, there is nothing in the world that compares to the New York music scene. So we've played a number, I actually play with Andy, he's a songwriter as well. We've played a number of times in Chicago, but it doesn't have the same energy and the same like excited, inspired vibe that the New York scene does. Not even close.
All right. And let's see, when are you going to be getting married? What's the date?
September 10th, 2011, which is 9/10/11. I love the day.
Oh my gosh. And where are you guys going to do this at?
Stowe, Vermont. I went to college in Vermont, and Vermont is hands down my favorite state. Love it. I love the people, the politics, the scenery. I love everything about Vermont.
Okay, I always ask this of the musicians that I visit with. What first got you interested in music? Has it been a lifelong thing? And also, we have a lot of background music here, but don't worry because the microphone cuts most of it out except for you.
My parents are both musicians. My dad sang to me since I was born. My mother was an opera singer when I was very young. So music has been a part of my blood. My grandfather is a concert choir director, and my grandmother was a concert pianist. So it really is something that was introduced to me from the moment I was born. But pop music, my family is not into pop music at all. That was something that came to me in high school, more or less, when I realized I loved singing, but I wasn't into musicals or classical music in terms of what I wanted to perform. And so at some point, it was actually after college, I started writing my own music because it was the only music that I could find that I really related to enough to perform it.
What was the name of the song just before the blues song that you played tonight?
Right Now. That was the next to the last song, and it's probably right now. It's my favorite song of mine that I have written. I love singing it.
I love that song of yours. I just look forward to hearing that every time live and all that. Yeah. Okay, and your family is from Alabama originally. Were they all okay after the recent tornadoes and everything?
They're all fine, but my mom said it is so sad driving around. That my parents lost a few trees in their, around their house, but their house was fine. The tornado was about 10 miles from their house, and it had a very specific path of destruction. So really not far from where they are, everything was destroyed, and they feel very lucky, but they also just feel really devastated for their community.
What are your major musical influences? Like, who's your 3 top most favorites?
So growing up, I would say until I was about 25, Ani DeFranco was my numero uno. I don't really like anything she's done since about 2000, but she did a lot of music before that, and I thought she was so brilliant and strong and individual and unique. Led Zeppelin is my favorite band. And right now, I would say my favorite modern songwriter is Patty Griffin, who is an Americana. Oh, you do? You love her? I love everything she's done. I think my favorite Patty Griffin, you probably have all her albums too. I think Children Running Through is my favorite Patty Griffin album. But she's mesmerizing to me. Other than that, it really changes day to day. I mean, I constantly acquire new music that just blows me away. Right now, there's a new band called Head in the Heart. I cannot get enough of them, and I'm telling you, if they come to New York, you must see their show. They are infectiously fun. They're so good. Yeah.
And you do a Lady Gaga cover like a lot of people are doing. What do you think of Lady Gaga?
Love her. I have to say I only own probably 3 or 4 of her singles. I don't listen to her all the time, but I respect her 100% for her individuality. She writes her music, she makes her costumes. No one is like her. I think she is should be an inspiration to every female singer-songwriter out there, and I think she deserves every bit of success that she has achieved.
Fabulous. And then you also did a It Gets Better song that was so touching.
Thank you. Yeah, gay rights and gay marriage and the problems that affect the LGBT community are really important to me. I have one of my very best friends from high school ended up committing suicide because he was not accepted for who he was, and that was back in the 90s. And he tried very hard to be accepted, and since then I just have no tolerance for lack of acceptance. I don't think it's appropriate, and I think that in the future we will view our treatment of the gay community like we now view our treatment of the black community in the 60s. And I hope that I live to see a day when every person can be accepted for who he or she is. I really, really hope that from the bottom of my heart.
That's fabulous, Laura. And just one more question for our viewers, where they can come to find your music, your website, any contact information you'd want to give.
LauraThomasBand.com, and my CDs are also on Laura Thomas Band on iTunes, so you can find them on CD Baby also if you want to buy the hard copy CDs. CD Baby sells them under Laura Thomas Band.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, well thank you so much, Laura, and you are one of my favorites. And one more question, when are you going to be back in New York to play next, do you know?
My next show will be in October at Rockwood. I don't have the date totally solidified, but I will let you know. I'm going to take 4 months off to record a new album, and then I will be back here at Rockwood.
Okay, will the album be ready to sell by the time you come back? Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, dear. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye.
Bye.